I feel like I'm by far the least flexible out of the three of us. Judging by what I know from Manu and what I've seen from Sophie, I just feel like, yeah, by far the least flexible.
What he's seen from Sophie. I could probably...
What he knows from Manu. You felt like that was the bad part.
What sort of sordid stories have you been telling you, Manu?
Well, I hope I've only left a good impression, Manu.
Well, obviously, as a martial artist, I assume you're somewhat flexible.
My headcanon is that Manu's been telling sordid stories to Liam about what he got up to on the weekend.
Yeah. Judging from your Kama Sutra vlog.
Yes. I want to point out that, like, this is episode 5, but we actually, in fact, can we reveal that we actually have at this point in time not released the first episode officially?
Yeah. Well, you've done it now.
So we actually don't know. I'm very curious who's gonna ship who in like the coming weeks. If it's like gonna be like, I feel like it's mostly gonna be me and Liam now that you said.
I definitely think so too.
It's like, I know Manu's very flexible and I suspect Sophie is as well.
Well, no, I know for a fact that Sophie is as well because she's put on a show at my house.
I think, okay, now that sounds bad. To say I put on a show, that's very suggestive.
What kind of shows do you do?
Well, you did it for show.
I didn't put
in front
on
of people.
A show. I think we were playing a game. We were playing some sort of card game, but it's my party trick. My one party trick is that I can do a back bend, you know, from when you're standing and you can go into a back bend.
Really?
That's my
impressive.
one party trick.
Yeah, we were playing Fun Employed, and I believe I was looking for a cheerleader.
And I said that I'm quite flexible. So, you know what, that's
and I said, prove it.
We can move
Is that
on
something
from
you
this. I'm gonna
practice or
put
does
on
it
a
just
show.
come naturally?
No, it's neither. I think when I was in... Okay.
Where does it come from?
I don't
It's
know.
a mystery.
I can't say that I practice it. Maybe my practice is that, you know, every so often then I will put on a show to show people just to prove my cheerleading skills. I think it's because when I was younger, it's actually pretty crazy because I think most people are more flexible when they're younger and then it's as they age, they get less flexible. Whereas for me, when I was younger, my younger and older sister, they were very flexible and I was the only one who couldn't do the splits. They both went to like jazz lessons, and because I was a bad dancer, I didn't go to jazz lessons. But then as I grew older, I'm now able to do the splits, but just
without
front ways.
practicing it.
and I just learned how to do a back bend one day, and I don't know where that came from.
You know, things you just do randomly.
Did your genes just unlock all of a
Yeah,
sudden,
it's
or
just-
what?
I had a training
Asian
arc.
level
I don't know.
5.
Yeah,
So
Sophie's
it
awakening.
came naturally is kind of the answer to that.
I suppose
Just
so.
out of nowhere.
sort of just in a roundabout
Can you do an
way.
Asian squat?
I'm very good at Asian squats. I actually sit very strangely. So I don't know how often you guys sit on the floor, but in a lot of, like definitely in Korean culture, sitting on the floor is very common. Especially, like think of that, you know, like Liam, I'm sure you could relate to primary school. I don't know what the go is in Germany, but I'm sure you spent a lot of time having to do like sitting on the floor in classrooms when you were in primary school. And so
Yep, always on the floor.
right? And I guess, I don't know how to show this, but in terms of like, if I was to use my arms, I think the way to cross legs is like that, right? One sort of twisted under the other. I sit like this.
Tricky because my angle of view is even stranger.
Okay.
And there's
Well, I
also
can
the
sit
funny
like
thing where
this.
like you sit with, where you sit with like the legs bent like to the outside kind of, like backwards. I know some people do that as well.
Fuck are you talking?
So the knees pointing.
like
my legs
the
are
knees-
bent backwards
Yeah.
outside.
No, like that, like the.
Oh
like the
no,
knees
I know
point
what you're
forward.
talking about. I think my dog sits like that. Yeah.
I think I'm going to need to see someone with legs do this because
wait.
I'm thinking something
I think I
very
know what
strange.
you're talking about. Is it like the standard sort of like anime girl on the floor
Yes,
pose?
kind of like that, like knees forward
Yeah.
and the legs bent like.
Yeah.
towards the
I know what
Oh,
you're
I
talking about.
see. Okay. I mean, I maybe I could do that. It doesn't sound very comfortable though.
I'm pretty sure I could do that, so I feel like you could.
I can definitely not do that. I have the worst, most like the shortest hamstrings I feel like I've ever seen anyone have.
The shortest.
Like they're really
Hamstrings, so
tight for some
specific.
reason.
Is there a world record for that? Or?
World's shortest hamstrings. Go to this German dude. He's like, sometimes I just
We'd
want
bring
to
him
bend.
out here, but he can't actually walk.
Sometimes I wish I could sit down, but it never works. It doesn't come with a lot of flexibility, I feel like, growing up in like a Western country. Because I feel like I've been sitting on chairs as far as I can remember. Like, even primary school, I feel like I might have sat on chairs.
I mean, we definitely sat on chairs as well, but we would also have periods where we'd have to sit on the floor. I don't actually know. I don't remember why that is.
Well, we would mix it up, like, every day. Like, we would start the day on the floor, then we would go to our desks on the
Then
chairs.
on the table.
And then, depending on what the class is, if we were doing music, we'd be sitting on the floor. If we'd be doing art, we'd be at tables. And it just kept flip-flopping.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
But there was a lot of floor time.
I'm not sure how true that is. I saw that. I'm not sure how true that is, but like maybe you've heard that as well. But apparently, it's really not good sitting down. Like, or the amount that we sit down in like modern life and like in our working
100%.
culture. Like also for
humans
your spine,
did not evolve
apparently.
to be this stationary. And
Yeah.
I was always very proud of the fact that I was so flexible and I could manage my legs to sit in that very convoluted way. And recently when I went to my podiatrist because I've been having problems with my toe, as I shared with you guys, apparently years of sitting that way has meant that I'm like extremely hyperextended. And so my like hip bones are apparently sort of curved inwards now because of that. The reason why for me is because even when I'm sitting on a chair like this, right now I'll tell you that my legs don't touch the floor because my legs are so short. So what that means is even when I'm sitting
that's so cute.
That is really like
it's literally sort of just dangling. And so because that's super uncomfortable, what I actually usually do is I'm sitting cross-legged. Like right now I had to swap because I was just demonstrating even though you guys can't see my legs. But usually if I'm sitting at a test, I will be sitting with my legs crossed. Even on the chair.
That's so funny. I really like when I come to Australia, I want to make a video making the world's largest chair for Sophie. The thumbnail is just you sitting on a big chair.
It's just a standard chair.
It doesn't even have to be the world's largest chair. It just has to be a large chair.
It just has to be a normal chair.
The irony is that this is a standard. This is not a big chair at all. But
so
yes,
cute.
that's unfortunately my life.
I mean, you were over here in my office filming something at one point, and like the chair did not go high enough to get you into the shot, so you had to sit on a pillow or two, if I recall.
Yes. Just so that I could be level with Liam.
I had to give you a booster seat
The
to
Tom
get
Cruise
into
effect.
the camera shot.
Sophie comes fun size.